are the one of the best movies in which actors have played double role, and I will say these are the new ones, no old movies actually, and it contains list of up to 2022. And another thing is I want to remind you is there is going to be spoiler in this movie. The first one is I will say Tabu in Bhul 2. In this movie, we are gonna see the character Tabu playing the double role. Yes, she's going to be the ghost, and she's also the villain of this movie. Well, the movie is fantastic. It's a comedy horror genre movie. Kartik Aaryan is fantastic. Kiara is almost okay. She does her job well. Watch this movie for Tabu, and you're gonna love it. Second one is Raul Bose in Bulbul. Well, Bulbul is a fantastic horror movie, and I will not lie, it's a great cinematography movie. It has a great VFX. But what's important is the message about how girls are abused, oppressed, mentally and physically. And the two main characters that shows this all are the Rahul Bose double negative role. Yes, they are both negative. One is Zamindar and one is brother who is mentally disabled. Yes, and we see how they abuse Tripti. One crosses the boundaries because he lusts for, especially the mentally abused one, because he thinks it's a toy thing for her, and the Zamindar thinks it's her prize, it's his prize, and no one, and he can't share with anyone. Even he sends his brother to London because he doesn't want to get born. And from here we see the physical torture done to Trinity, not only physical but mentally torture. There are some graphically rape scenes done by Raul Bose. You will puke at that time. But it's one of his best acting moments in this movie, and he has proved that he can do negative roles much better. Ranbir Kapoor in Samshera. Well, Samshera is an action adventure movie done by Yash Raj Productions. It's a quite big budget movie. You can see it by the trailer. It has great exotic locations and great VFX also. But what's interesting is that Ranbir is going to play dual role in this movie. He's not going to be. He's going to play father and son role actually, like a Krish actually. But it's what I like about this movie is that Shamshera look is just fantastic, holding the axe. He's fighting for his tribe. He's a ducat, and it's a British era movie, and you can see his tribe riding on the desert looks fantastic. And the son version is going to be more funny side, or you can say his man child side. There are few needs and bits about this movie is that little bit VFX is off, and Sanjay Dutt acting skills I didn't like it actually. But this dual role of Ranbir Kapoor is one of the best I have seen, and his makeover of Shamshera is fantastic. मर्द को दर्द नहीं होता. Well, this movie is one of my favorite superhero movie. It's about a boy who can't feel the pain, yes, and thus with his grandfather staying in home for 12 years, he learns kung fu within his room watching kung fu movies. And his main mentor is, or main ideal is, money. Yes, money. And this character has a twin brother, and these twin characters are one of the most funny characters I have seen in the movie, and they are also the best character. It's movie. This character put soul in this movie. I will say they both play well, and they are both opposite of each other. The money one is quite pessimistic character, whereas the Jimmy one is quite baddish villainish type character, and it brings the what we can say flavor to the this comedy action movies. But it's one of the fantastic movies because gives homage to the martial arts movies of 90s or 80s eras. Fifth one is SRK Fan. Yes, Fan is one of the underrated movie of SRK, but Fan represents the line between the person you admire, the person you stalk, because you have low self-esteem, and that's what's with the SRK movie. The main antagonist has self, because he has been rejected by his ideal, and he goes through these emotions. Thus, he can't capture his emotions, and thus goes to the revenge chase of the Aryan superstar. However, Acting as a superstar and a fan of the superstar is a challenge, and as SRK did it amazingly well. Kudos to the VFX and prosthetic team for the makeup because it shows how fans should look, but not exactly like him. Another thing is that the film is simply outstanding in the first half, raising your expectation, but during the interval time, it's completely not up to the point. But it's okay. Well, second one is Varun Dhawan Judwa 2. Yes, most people will be angry with me why this movie has been placed. Well, because see, this movie is it's a great comedy movie. Yes, it's not for intellectual people like us. Yes, that's the truth. It's for the people who work hard in their life and want some laughter, and it's for those target audience. And I will not lie, I can enjoy this kind of mindless comedic action movie. It may be cringy at the same time, but Varun Dhawan may not be Salman Khan, but he plays his character well, and this double role was one of his best performance in this comedy movie because making everyone laugh is not a joke. It's one of the hardest tasks a director can do, and this movie will make you laugh. Well, seventh one is RK or RK. As a director, Rajat Kapoor remains as audacious and seductive as ever. In RK and RK, he tears the idea of doppelganger right out of the movie screens and brings it out in his own home. Let me explain. RK, the director, has just completed a film where he stars a poet lover, Mehboob. The film is a passionate love story of a Mehboob and Gulab, which is played by Mallika Sherawat. Has not turned out as well as expected. The producer is a disgruntled, nervous businessman who wants the tragic ending to be changed into a happy one. RK or RK Kapoor plays the two role, an independent filmmaker named RK who just starred in his recently completed movie. Then the second one is Mehboob, the hero character of RK movie. The Mehboob character is protagonist in a Pink Panther type comedy thriller movie that is set in 1960s. Mehboob, who is 45-year-old, has a mustache. RK is a clean shaven and wears glasses. RK thinks himself of an intellectual guy, while Mehboob was created to be somewhat goofy character. RK writes and directs all his movies, so he has a very dominant and about protecting his artistic integrity. RK impression that he won't take other people's advice if they think something should be changed about this movie before the movies are completed. To fully appreciate RK or RK, you should have a tolerance of very meta films. Anyone who gets easily confused of movie within a movie that are a wink and a nod to the filmmaker real life experience probably won't enjoy RK or RK very much. Eighth one is Kamine. Kamine is about two estranged twin brothers played by Shahid Kapoor, both of whom are slightly and funnily limited. The one is lips, the other tremors. An incredibly twisted plot that reveals many little truths through flashbacks and confession from time to time. The twin characters are very well written and defined. Charlie is a guy who lives life as if there was no tomorrow. He is cruel and carefree. Guddu is a simple guy who considers himself a duffer, yet he has many plans for the future and has a relationship with a simple Marathi girl. The acting is very good. Shahid Kapoor gives a fine performance, excellently displaying the difference of the two characters he plays. Additionally, he does what could have seemed to be very difficult with noted ease and conviction. Kamine is a messy yet it's a dark, yet artistically it's hilarious comedy and emotional drama, and many great moments it has in its movie. Ninth one is Kangana Ranawat, Tannu Wears Manu Returns. Yes, the use of double role has been a relevant plot element in Hindi films of decades. There isn't one popular actor of yesteryear mainstream cinema who didn't play dual roles at least once in his film, and it's a common expectation of each star to play double so as to prove their acting prowess. Anand Al Rai makes Tabu Wears Manu returns, and definitely belongs to the character of Tabu Wears Manu. Good films actually with a dual roles. It might not be perfect film, but it works. The film is actually a sequel to the enjoyable musical response romance movie of Tanu Wears Manu, but it is pretty much a film of its own which could be watched without having to see the prequel. It's essentially very different from prequel in style, mood and execution, but most important, this is one of the rare occasions where the sequel is better than the first film. Tanuvers Mano return is amusing and entertaining, but above all, it's a nice film. The script is good with some wonderful dialogues and cleverly handled situation comedy, which generally doesn't insult intelligence of the audience. Among the highlights of this film, the film high point is the scenes where Tannu and Dato finally meet, and it's absolutely delightful. Indeed, Kangna reaches impossible heights in her exploration of her own artistic limits. Well, the 10th one is Paresh Rawal in Oe Lakke Oe. Well, this movie is about the Lovinder Singh, played by Abhay Deol, a thief now in custody and facing trial, reflects on his life of crime, while the press reflects on how he managed to get away with so much before being arrested. The film is not your run of the mile masala comedy. The comedy lies in the writing and the script. Well, why I choose this movie was because Paresh Rawal plays Lucky's father and then he later plays Gogi Bhai, the boss of Abhay Deol. Then he plays the Doctor Honda, his neighbor. There was a big hidden meaning for this triple role of Paresh Rawal. Basically, the director wanted to show the Lucky or Abhay Deol is just a normal kid who developed into whatever he did because he hate the inequities of few key people in his life who he trusted. By having Paresh Rawal for all the three characters who shaped him for the negative, he was representative of the social evil